Hey, welcome everybody to episode 9 of Skottie Talk with Tyler and Dustin. I'm
Hello,
Dustin, and
hello.
he's
And I'm
uh,
Tyler.
there. You go. It was the slowest reaction. We did not practice that, believe it or not. So now this
We're
this week,
professionals, so
yeah, this week has been the episode that's been put off for 2 weeks because the CGC signing happened at Kansas City last week, and we had but last week was a very fun show going over those remarks. I really enjoyed that last week.
no, it was a blast. It's and I love the covers, obviously, but being able to talk about original art, like and that kind of stuff, is always just super fun to me. Especially because I can never get enough of it. The behind the scenes kind of stuff. So
No, it was a lot of fun, and it gave us an extra couple of weeks or extra week and a half to figure out what daily sketches we wanted to put in this. And just to kind of set up the show tonight, the first thing we're going to look at are 9 of mine and Tyler's favorite daily sketches. We each picked 5, and one of them happened to cross over both our list. And then the next few slides after that will be like what our future suggestions are. And when we get to that point, Tyler, I'll have to turn your picks over to you because I can't pronounce some of your anime. So forgive, I'm not going to even try to butcher them.
that's completely understandable. So
And then mine are a little bit more simplistic, good old USA American picks. So hopefully I'll be able to pronounce those. But then the last section, I'd asked this question to the group this week. What are some of your daily sketch suggestions? And we've incorporated those into 3 slides. So we'll go over those, and I'll try to butcher each and every one of y'all's names. All right.
it sounds good.
And of course, our Wednesday afternoon surprise, we'll have to get in that as well. I mean, that was a pretty good drop. I was very happy. I was at work trying to work on a budget thing, and I forget who the group member was, but had put it in had put in one of the chats, SIKTC exclamation point, and I was like,
I did that, and I didn't click the post, so I was unsure of what exactly that was, and then I was like, oh, okay, now I'm understanding. So,
well, for it to be so excited, and somebody that's a regular poster, not somebody that just kind of dropped in, but it was really great news for all you Something Is Killing the Children fan.
Exactly. It looks like Seth already got his, so I guess you'll just have to double up, or
Yep, it's tough, but it's now there's some great choices too, and the great thing, well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I started to say the edition size for them. It's a nice edition size for both of them, but
I will confess and say I've not actually read the comic. I've seen it multiple times. I know, I've heard good things about it and everything, but I just haven't picked it up yet. So maybe this is my reason, especially being a prelude kind of issue. Maybe it's the best time to kind of jump in. So
I really wanted to do a spit take just then, but I've got some art over here.
Yeah.
Caught myself. It's really good, Ty. We had discussed where the Absolute Batman is the other one. We'll talk about that later too. But we both read that now, and that one blew me away. If you like that, I mean, this one, as amazing as reading Absolute Batman was the first time I read Something Is Killing the Children, I kind of had that same feeling. It was like, all right, I got to get the next issue. So I definitely recommend buying the trade for at least the first 3 arcs. Very cool, very cool. All right, but we'll jump into this now since I've already got sidetracked a little bit. The return of the daily sketch. Skottie said he hadn't did a daily sketch in 7 months, and all of a sudden we get Happy Gilmore. So this was a pleasant surprise, especially for all the Adam Sandler fans out there.
It was, yeah. And honestly, I think what I enjoyed about it more was the Substack post he made about it, and how originally he had more plans. He was going to knock out 4 sketches, and it was going to be a really great thing, and then did it, and it was just like, this is all I got. This is kind of what I can give right now. And, as an artist myself, like I love his post where he talks about, his struggles with art and that kind of stuff in his own personal life. And, it's very, understandable. Unfortunately, sometimes you're just not feeling it, even if it is art, even if it is fun, kind of maybe becomes to be more like a chore than anything else. So I really appreciated reading that. And, I hope this isn't the end of daily sketches. I don't think it is. It's kind of comes and goes, I'm sure, just like anything. And as he had said, he was missing that itch of full-time.
Do you have a crush on it? Do you have a crush on it? I think was
he didn't have the crush on it, and hopefully, like he said, he's got a few crushes he's working on now, so that should be exciting to see what those are. So
No, but I didn't even realize it had been that long since with the big Marvel that we had this summer, the drop of the 27 issues, and we're getting a new comic pretty much every week in the store. Plus, Ain't No Grave, all 5 issues of that.
Yeah.
And Fairyland. Even though Skottie may not have did a daily sketch in 7 months, it doesn't feel like that at all. I mean, it feels like we're getting something new every week. You know, our Wednesday surprises that we talked about, whether it be a store exclusive or a new cover art for some, Death of Spider-Man book. There's news coming out every week. So
yeah, and it's there's tons of stuff I'm sure behind the scenes that hasn't even been announced yet that he's working on. So to be busy, I'm sure. So completely understandable, like you said, that we hadn't gotten one, but like you said, the other stuff filled in that void, so it didn't really feel like it was too much of a distance between them. So.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, we're still getting plenty of Skottie art. It's just not in the format that, we've been accustomed to for the last several decade or so. But this piece, I don't think this was a daily sketch, but it was one that he had put up. I'm not sure when it was drew, but I think that's bad grammar. But anyway, this was I did this slide before I went back and read that he hadn't did a daily sketch in 7 months. So I don't know. We can ignore this one. It's a cool sketch either way, but it's got a 2024 date, and I mean everybody loves Pan's Labyrinth, so it's a bonus.
I was gonna say it might have been because I know they're just celebrating an anniversary for it. I don't remember what year specifically, but could have been just maybe that influence. So
yeah, and then granted, 7 months ago was March, so it very well may have been in there, and I just overlooked it, but. If nothing else, we get a bonus Fawn sketch. I'm okay with it.
Exactly.
But now the portion of the show that we wanted to discuss, the favorite daily sketch. The first one on there, of course, was on both of our list. Ramona Flowers from I Hate Scott Pilgrim. From Scott Pilgrim versus War.
It's fair to say I hate Scott Pilgrim. So
I threw about 5 different movies in there at once, and it just
I like it. Yeah.
But yeah, the Ramona Flowers. That's one that I would love to see more because he did a Scott Pilgrim as well. But I'd love to see a Knives and some of the other supporting characters.
Oh yeah, give me the Evil X's. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm all for more Kim Pines. Give me the rest of the cast and crew for sure. So.
And with it being the anniversary of Scott Pilgrim this year too, and Brian Lee O'Malley doing the tour and everything, it's time to see some more. But like we said, Skottie's got plenty going on. We may not see any of those for a while.
It's kind of derailed, but it's just because I remember they're sitting next to me. But I got recently the collector's edition box set, the
very cool
black and white variant. So I was super excited to be able to add this to the collection. I got the Evil X color hardcover editions that I got Brian Lee O'Malley to sign one of them. So this is a very cool. I love the packaging. The PlayStation packaging was super cool for this. So
insanely jealous. Whenever he showed the PSP, the PlayStation Portable, the PlayStation packaging on Instagram, I was like, I would just love the box. The books are just.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's such great. I mean, he does marketing. I feel like for Scott Pilgrim so well, and that he lines it up, with the stuff that he loved and grew up with, and most of us loved and grew up with, which I feel like is a lot of Scott Pilgrim. So yeah, they nailed it. They knocked it out of the park, and it's super awesome. So,
well, just to show kind of how old I am, Tyler, the Twitch, is that what he does? Brian does a lot of drawing on there, and I'll get notifications popping up saying he is sketching, and I don't know. I click the app, and I think I'm on there, but I think I'm a member. I don't know if I can comment, but. It's fun to watch him draw those, and hopefully they'll become the feed
on Twitch. I think he also will stream sometimes on Instagram as well as TikTok. I think I've seen him because I think I've watched one of them on Instagram before. Because I have Twitch. I'm just not as big of a Twitch person for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just don't really hover towards it like other people I know do. So
yeah, I'm good with a few I have, but whenever I get a notification with him drawing, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to watch it because. Some of his art, you look at some of the drawing and you're like, all right, well, this is not like as detailed as some of the other art you see, but then you see what he's doing with it, and it comes together really nicely. And he's got a special talent that and I don't know if you've read some of his other books, but Seconds and some of the other ones that he's put together, excellent writer as well. So
I've been meaning to. They've been on my list. I just haven't unfortunately gotten to them. So I definitely will at some point because I love Scott Pilgrim. So I would love to read those other ones.
All right. I almost turned the show into the Brian Lee O'Malley talk.
I know, yeah.
Well, I'll jump on to the next one was Spider-Punk, and that was my choice. And that was one that anybody that's been a member of the Skottie group on Facebook remembers when that one went up for sale at the Skottie shop, and it was everybody was talking about, I'd love to own that. I'd love to get that. It's one that I would have loved to grab too, but I didn't get to. But it's really cool. I think I've got the sticker.
I was gonna try and get it out too, but I was like, no, that's I don't know exactly where that is, but I do have the sticker as well. So,
all right, and then the next one is Ted Lasso, and that was on your list, Tyler.
I was gonna say honestly, all three of these, I might not have said Spider-Punk, but all three of these, yeah, for sure, were on my list as well. I love all three of these, IPs, and his sketches for him were great, and jealous that you have the Ted Lasso. I love that one, but I'm glad you were able to get him to do it. So,
well, that one was a 3 or 4 year journey of whenever I watched the first season of it, I thought, oh man, that's just Ted Lasso, such a positive guy and so uplifting. And the same feeling I got watching Ted Lasso is the same feeling I got the first time I saw Skottie's art, and just like, well, this is different. This is not just saying, oh wow, that's he's incredibly artistically talented, which he is, but it's also it elicits a feeling where it's like, all right, like a joyful, youthful feeling, like, all right, well, yeah. I'm excited to see the art, not just, oh, that's really nice, that's really good art. So yeah, that's kind of what I felt watching Ted Lasso.
No, 100% agree. I remember vividly watching with my dad, and yeah, it was just that show is top TV for me, especially with Apple streaming, but just overall, it's just such a great show. And I know Skottie watched it too. I know Skottie really liked season 1. I remember him saying season 2 was a little bit more, maybe on the nose or too, kind of too much.
It was a bridge season.
But I love it all. So it's all great to me, and I'm glad he was able to draw that, and you were able to grab that sketch for sure. So.
All right, the next one, and this is one that actually did go up for sale at the Skottie shop that I tried to get. And it was one of the first times at the Skottie shop that I got the sold out. Whenever I added to the cart, went to do the payment, pay now. Sorry, this item is no longer in inventory. And I remember we were on our way to go see Ice down in Nashville at Opryland Hotel, and the drop. I think it happened at 10 a.m. like everything else, and I was a little grumpy after that, but the going to see Ice with the kids.
Look like Gizmo, I imagine. So,
yeah, I was not pleased at all. But the same thing I tell people, I would never let my family know that or let people from the group know. I mean, we all get upset when we miss out on stuff, but you can't win them all. If you won every single thing, it wouldn't be fun. The thrill of victory would not be there. To be able to hold, get something. So whoever got this, I'm glad they did. It's a great piece. And just to get Gizmo and Grogu together, yeah, that's really cool. So I was mad at myself for not being faster, but I'm very happy for the person that got this. I can say that honestly.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and like you said, it's tough. I mean, that stuff goes up, and some of it immediately sells, and then some of it lingers a little bit longer than I would have thought, and that goes for both his daily sketches and his covers, like we've talked about previously. But the nice thing too is that just because unfortunately it got bought out doesn't mean that there's not ever the possibility of it popping up again later and you getting lucky about it, which kind of leads into the second one.
Nice segue. Well done, Tom.
So yeah, the Elf. I love Elf. Elf is one of my favorite Christmas movies. It's just I don't know what it is. It's honestly, I think, my favorite Will Ferrell movie besides like Step Brothers. And it's mainly just because it's so different from all of his other work that he's mainly done. He's always been comedic and more on, the adult humor side of things, which I love. I'm all there for it. But something about the way Jon Favreau did that movie, and then also Will Ferrell just acting in it, it's just such again, to be able to make a Christmas movie, after all the big Christmas movies are made, and everyone has their favorite, whether that's Christmas Story or Miracle on, whatever it is, to be able to have people now go, oh, Elf's my favorite, and myself included, and that was one that went up, and unfortunately, like you said, it's just I couldn't just grab it at the time, and was just didn't line up, and I was remiss. I was sad that I missed out on it, but I then was able to get the chance again to be able to acquire it, and I did just that. So
yeah, I love that one too. That's I remember whenever you're able to get it again, I was very, to use my favorite word to use, very tickled for you. That was a very
yeah, I love it, and I love how much Skottie and them seem to love it. Funny enough, I sent them. It's kind of a tradition I've started, but I've started sending them Christmas cards. I've done it twice now, and the first year I remember I did it, I sent an Elf card, and funny enough, they were going to see Elf in concert that very night.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's I love it. They love the character in the movie, and it's just such a great sketch.
Well, one thing I was going to ask you, the fascinating story behind that. Have you watched the Netflix show Holiday Movies That Made Us? It's like it tells the making of Elf.
I don't think I've seen that one. No, I didn't know. I didn't know if I knew that they had an Elf one. That's really cool if they do, though.
Yeah, you need to watch it. It's really, really good. Just some of the struggles and the whole thing about, is this really going to be successful? This is kind of
yeah.
Yeah, because James Conn, he hated Will Ferrell during the movie. He didn't get what he was doing, and he was actually aggravated with him the whole movie. So
maybe I did watch, because I do remember hearing about that. And wasn't it that like after he watched the movie, he was like, "Hey, I get it now. I understand what you were going for." Yeah. Kind of like an apology in a way of like, hey, I was rude, but I totally get now, and it works very well. What you were doing. I think I maybe have. So I love those series, how it's made kind of deal with toys and movies and all that stuff. So if
toys and movies, all those are really good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're all fantastic. So I mean, it's an interesting, to create something new like that, again, especially nowadays, studios are just less inclined to make new and rather just, redo what already existed. So I'm glad that this movie got made, and it exists, because it's a tradition for me now. I've got to watch this movie around Christmas time. I've got the onesie suit I wear normally on Christmas Day now. I'm like, hey, I'm full Elf mode. I'm here for it. So
Halloween costume.
I guess that's true. I could wear that. So
it's a great, and just the fact that Favreau and even Will Ferrell weren't who they are now. Because right now you look at it, you're like, of course, it's a great filmmaker, great actor, comedic actor.
Yep.
It makes sense, but
it's super funny. Yeah, that it's it just worked out so well, and I love it. I'm glad I have that piece. So
it's a great piece.
Yeah, the Ahsoka, amazing piece. So Tracy has this one. I'm glad Tracy got it. It's such a great piece.
This is a different one than the one Tracy's got, actually.
Is this
which
was?
This is the one from the Daily Sketch. She has like an 11x17 of Ahsoka that just came. This is the one that came out like a year or two ago. I can't see the date on there, but yeah, Tracy's was more of a full-bodied. But yeah, I had to, whenever I was trying to find an image for it, like I thought, oh, that's Tracy. That's a little different. This is the one they turned into a sticker on whenever the stickers got released.
Yeah, I've got the sticker. Yes, I guess I'm getting the. I do think I remember now. The one that she has, like you said, it's more of a bust. The one that she has, right?
Yeah, it's a little deceiving on this image because the obviously the Daily Sketch is in black and white, and hers was the fully colored, fully rendered one. So I probably should have posted the black and white one to kind of showcase the differences between them, but.
No. I mean, it's like you said. Sometimes it can be hard, to catch up with everything. Yeah, I forgot. So yeah, this is the one that Tracy has.
I knew she was standing more erect, kind of like that, than she is where she's in a running attack here. So
I wonder. This must have been. I'm assuming it must have been a commission.
Yeah, I figured because some of the commissions, the one of the spider buggy that was getting done that were probably from the earlier list. So I was assuming this is probably just one of the long lists that Skottie's had, that kind of the backlog that he's got too. But Yeah, it was a heck of a sketch either way. It was really cool.
Yeah, both of them are. I mean, and she's such a cool character. I love because most people, who know Ahsoka and was there when she was introduced in Clone Wars, know that she, for the most part, was not a very well liked character at the beginning. Because then it makes sense. She was an annoying kid. It's this Padawan that's attached to Anakin, and it's like, oh, why are you here? And now she's a much beloved character and has a live action likeness with Rosario Dawson. So. Super cool, to be able to see, again, a character like this drawn in Skottie style, kind of similar to Darth Maul in the remarks that we looked at last week. So this one's definitely, a favorite. Again, just the motion that he's got going too, and her, having her lightsabers, the way she holds them. So, excuse me. This one, is just such a great piece. So.
Yeah, the motion coming off the lightsabers is really cool for this one too.
Yeah, and
it's hard to see in this image, but yeah.
Well, I was gonna say to make white lightsabers pop off a white background, like I feel like that's tough to do. Obviously there's a hint of color in there, but the fact that you still get enough to see their outlines to see, and I love the streaks, as if she's swinging them, and it's mid swing. So
yeah,
this one and Tracy's are both really great. So,
well, speaking of great ones, whenever I was looking up the Breaking Bad sketch that you were talking about, I saw so many other. I typed in, Skottie Young daily sketch Breaking Bad, and I would think, hey, that would bring up this sketch. It did not. It brought up every other daily sketch, and as I was looking through them, I thought, oh, I should have picked that one. Oh, I should have picked that, but I'd already picked the ones that I wanted and already laid them out. And this was really the last one that I'd found. But yeah, this one. Now, did you get this one, or I couldn't remember if you got this one or not?
No, I heavily contemplated it. I really wanted to, because I think this one and the Ahsoka, if I'm not mistaken, came out at the same time. There were two when Breaking Bad dropped. I think it was Ahsoka and Breaking Bad. I could be wrong. They're both 2023. But I definitely wanted to. Breaking Bad, I know we've talked about it before, but Breaking Bad to me is the pinnacle of TV shows. Like it's just from start to finish. It had a story to tell, and it told it so incredibly well, and the characters involved, and just, again, it's just such an interesting premise as well. And, and I think I told you, but I've got the barrel. They came out with like a collectible Blu-ray set that's the barrel, and you can open it up, and the Blu-rays are inside of it.
I don't remember if you did or not. That's odd to see that.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it came with like an apron, which I still have sealed, and all that stuff. So it's, I love Breaking Bad. I even shaved my head to dress up as Heisenberg, as Walt, a few times. Once at a convention, once like for
that's funny
college, and it's just such a great show. So when I saw him drawing this, especially just Walt and Jesse being Walt and Jesse, and the speech bubbles piling up are just so good.
And I normally edit, but I left this one. For you, Tyler.
That'd be a lot to edit, so I don't.
I had like an hour lunch today, so I couldn't do too much with it. But I thought Tyler will appreciate this more fully, unedited. So
I do. I would have laughed if it was just white bubbles, but
I'd want to keep the Jesse part, so I'd have to do all. So.
Exactly, just Jesse blank. So. No, it's a great, and again, I love the added fact that these newer ones and the ones he's been doing as of late have been colored, mostly by Anderson Cooper. It's Cooper, right? Anderson Carmen. Thank you. Who's been coloring these, and he does such a fantastic job, and he's an amazing artist in his own right. And I got to meet him at Heroes Con, and that was really cool. I think you did as well. And
I did not. I didn't realize he was there. I wish I did, because I would have loved to get to meet him and pick up something from him.
Yeah. No, I definitely have to. I'm hoping he comes back next year for sure. So
yeah, I like to, especially what we refer to as the Skottie verse. He's did a lot of these, and Skottie's posted and shared them to his social media sites. So I figure Anderson Skottie approves. So. He's within the Skottie verse now. So I like to support anybody within that verse.
Exactly. So. Yep. I'm 100% there with you.
All right. The next two, or the last two are my choices. The boy at the end, Christmas. If there's something Charlie Brown Peanuts Christmas meets the snow effect that Skottie used,
Yep.
meets the humbleness of it. And I love Christmas. So it's, to me, this is probably my favorite boy at the end, with the exception of the one I've got. I have to say that because I've got the one I've got to support it. But I love this one. I love Christmas. And this one's really cool. Just not a whole lot more I can say about it. But
no, oh, go ahead.
No. I was going to run my mouth about the next one, but go on. Go on.
I was just going to say, no, I totally agree with you. I love, honestly, working with negative space like this is interesting to me, where, he's got the black silhouette for the night sky, but then just the white on the ground bleeding into the page and bleeding into the border. And then, like you said, that splatter snow effect is just so cool and so Skottie. Yeah. And like you said, it's a very moving piece. Like it's sad. It's like melancholy kind of feeling, you get that it's, he's celebrating Christmas, but it's this, kind of despair of him being alone with his backpack in the middle of a snowy field. And, and it's it's a character that means so much to Skottie. So, every one of these pieces is always really, really nice. So,
yeah. And there's so much below the surface of these pieces too, that you could look at them at face value and be like, all right, well, that's a very cool image of a kid sitting in front of a tree in a snowstorm. But, knowing kind of where there's not a story to it yet, but there is kind of a story to it, you kind of piece them all together. It puts a whole lot of meaning about growing up and all that good stuff in there. So, there's just something special about all the boy pieces. But, Merry Christmas, right close to Halloween. This is probably my favorite. So. Last but not least, and we've talked about this one in the regrets page. It's probably going to pop up every third episode or so, but Lion Cat, The Wheel, Saga, the reference to the best romantic comedy of all time, Hugh Grant, Julia Roberts, the Notting Hill. Yeah, so there's nothing that's not perfect about this daily sketch. And I feel like, call me Ishmael. This is my Moby Dick. I will. Not actually the Moby Dick that Skottie did draw for a daily sketch.
I was about to say, they're really long, yeah.
This is the white whale that, I'll be chasing for many a day.
No, it's a great one, and Saga is such a great series, and I'm glad to be reading it, and I'm glad that it's back and running again for its issues, and Will and Lion Cat are my favorite characters, especially Lion Cat. Again, just the premise that a cat is your partner that comes around and they can tell when people are lying is just such a fun character design and idea. So this one's a great one. I definitely hope you get it someday. So
someday, but if I don't, that means whoever's got it's got it well protected and well loved.
It means it's tucked away somewhere. So.
And I think I may have mentioned this to you in a post, or I mentioned it to somebody whenever we were going back and forth, but Skottie's daily sketches, the really cool thing is that there's so many fans of his daily sketches. You'll see a few of them that rotate, that bounce between seller to seller, but there's quite a few of his daily sketches that once they get bought by someone, you don't even see them on CAF anymore. They're on, Comic Art Fans. They are gone. They're in somebody's wall, somebody's portfolio that are never coming out. So it's very rare even on eBay to see, daily sketches pop up, because they're very well loved, whoever buys them. So it just speaks volume to how well they are, because a lot of people's arts, there is a higher turnover rate than what you get with the daily sketches.
No, it's very true. And it's definitely interesting. Like you said, you don't really see a lot up for resale. Occasionally you do, like with Elf and stuff like that, but for the most part, like you said, people, especially because they post them and they lead up to it, so people are like, okay, they know which one they're going to go after, and they've got that one or maybe two, that they're going to go for. And the fact that he, varies differently, so many of the characters, you can go from Happy Gilmore to Breaking Bad to Saga. So there's something for everybody for the most part. And like you said, when somebody finds that something for them, they're going to hold on to it. So. Yep,
Skottie is the Oprah Winfrey of daily sketches, because he,
you get a daily sketch. You get a daily sketch. Yeah. Exactly.
God bless Oprah Winfrey. All right, the next slide's all you, man. This is your choices, so I I will say one thing real quick. Please don't give me. These are images I picked, so if I butchered them or picked the wrong one,
these are all great. These
is
these
that the
work
right
perfectly.
Last of the Mohicans? Is that the right one?
Yep, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
So that's generally, I guess, yeah, I can start Last Mohicans. That's generally the image used for most of the like DVD releases, posters. This is a movie. It's such an interesting thing because people who know me, like whenever I bring up Last Mohicans, if they know the movie, they're like, "Really? That's because it's one of my all time favorite movies." Mainly because I was traumatized as a kid watching it in my grandparents' house, but in a transfixed kind of way. Because I mean, I'd never seen, at least up to that point, something so brutal but yet so beautiful at the same time in terms of like the depiction of war and romance. And like I watch it now even, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I watched this. I think I was like maybe probably out like fifth grade, sixth grade, young. But my grandparents had it, and we put it on, and it's become one of my favorites. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see, a depiction of Daniel Day-Lewis's character. Maybe, and there's a few other characters as well, but I think it would be, a style I would like to see, in Skottie's style. And then,
and it's kind of random. It's kind of random enough too that I could see him doing it. Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's and I can see it. Because again, it's less, like that baby and more in his daily sketch style where it's, kind of like, again, like the longer form, like him standing there with his rifle or, maybe him running, like, kind of like we're seeing here. And it would be, like I said, there's a few characters in the movie. I feel terrible because I'm blanking on names. I store a lot of movie knowledge and like trivia in my brain. So I'm sure that I'm overwriting certain things or like, I have to like really, kind of bring it to the forefront. But it would be like I said, I love that movie, and it would be really cool to see done in that style. And then going to the left, we get into like the anime stuff and whatnot, and that's Aizawa, which is to the left of the Last Mohicans, and then All Might, both of which are from My Hero Academia. We have seen Skottie draw Deku, the main character, Midoriya. Which, funny enough, like you, that's almost kind of my white whale of sketches, I would say, if I could get a hold of that sketch. I've looked for it online, and it's like you said, it's one of those ones where it's just gone into the ether. It's it's whoever got it, got it. And especially with anime, he did that kind of run because his kids gave him prompts for stuff that they were watching. Definitely not stuff that Skottie would have popped into his head to draw character wise, but I love to see, especially his take on All Might, this big beefy hero, and Aizawa is just a personal favorite of mine. And then kind of going to the bottom left again, kind of carrying over into the anime world is Spirited Away, which is my personal favorite Studio Ghibli movie. It was the first Studio Ghibli movie I watched. My dad brought home this movie. I don't know how he got a hold of it. He was like, hey, I heard about this movie, Spirited Away. It's supposed to be really good. Not knowing, I think, what he was kind of getting into, but opened up a whole world to me of movies and characters from Miyazaki. And like I said, it's my personal favorite. You got Chihiro, you've got No Face there, you've got Kohaku. So any of those three characters I would take, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Baby Bo and the U-Bird are characters as well. But Yubaba, I'm sure he would knock out of the park. This big-headed, I don't know if you saw her, but she's this big-headed lady with the big hair and a big nose. I'm sure he'd probably have fun with that one. And then Darksiders. Darksiders is, for people who know, they would know Joe Mad. He created the game series. He formed his own studio, and Joe Mad obviously is incredibly popular in the comic book world for creating his own stuff and Battle Chasers and then going on or doing X-Men and other stuff like that. And Darksiders is probably my favorite game series. I've got big statues here next to me, all the art books, and I even have a tattoo on my arm of the ruins that it's like always terrible to get into the. But this is it's the same tattoo that Joe Mad has on his arm. It's like the sigil for the Four Horsemen, because that's what the game is about, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. I've pitched it every time Skottie asks for ideas. I'm always like Darksiders. Please, I want to see Darksiders. I know he probably won't ever choose it, but I'm just like, hey, I'm going to keep pitching it out there because I'd love to see it. I think any of the characters, War, Death is who's pictured here, but War. No,
I got the right ones there.
No, you're fine. Like I said, there's 4 of them, so that you grab one of them at least. But I think he'd knock out any of them personally. So so yeah, no, these are all mine, and obviously there's others that pop into mind. I could recommend a whole lot, but I these are definitely at the top of the list for me. So
well, Tyler, you said it said 4 horsemen, and I counted 4 figures in that picture. So I thought, I'm good.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, those are the 3 dead warlords that Death has to like reel in and get to help him in his journey. So
I'm a little bit ignorant about those, so I apologize. I thought I did well.
No problem at all. No problem at all.
I'm almost there. Now I posted a link to the group of your choices there, so that's why I was looking away for a second. But I did want to say on Spirited Away, I've heard about that. It seems like I've heard about that movie, quite a bit, and I've never seen that. So actually wanting to catch on to that one day and watch
it. Have you seen any of the other Studio Ghibli movies? Or
oh Lord, no, I haven't seen any of those. Sorry, you're very uncultured here.
So. Your kids, I don't know how old your kids are. I know you got grandkids too. So
Tyler, how old are you? No, I've got 4 kids, no grandkids.
Oh, no grandkids. Okay, I thought I saw something on Facebook, a post about grandkids. I must have been mistaken, but
No, but my kids are my daughter's 22, 17, 16, 15, and Chance is 9. So
perfect. That's honestly, it's and they may not like it, but I definitely recommend diving into the Studio Ghibli world. No, you're not too old for that movie. Not at all. Miyazaki, who creates these movies, is 80 years old. So, if he's out here making them that old, then I think he's old enough to watch them. So,
amen to that. We don't know, Dre. He did and kind of reiterate here real quick. Whenever I said Return of the Daily Sketches, I thought Skottie was going to start doing them until we got that letter or the Substack email that came out that said he had planned on doing multiple ones and really just stuck, got stuck on the Happy Gilmore. So we had kind of kicked around this idea a little bit. And then after I read that, I thought, well, we've got a show going on about daily sketches and the return of them, but it should be like the Return of the Daily Sketch singular, which is what I put in there. And that's what it ended up being. So not daily sketches.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but I don't know when the Happy Gilmore will be dropping, but I think he's did some book plates and things like that. So maybe whenever they get time amidst all the other many things they've got going on. I'm sorry. I'm the Debbie Downer here that.
Yeah, I was about to say you can bet that any title we have just as much insider information as you guys do in terms of what we know and don't know. So
maybe less.
I was gonna say Seth and them will post occasionally, the new comics coming out, and I'm like, I don't even keep up that much. I wait for Skottie and them to tell me. So
yep. Real quick, I didn't want to skip over Ryan's comment here either.
I was gonna say, I like that. My wife has started watching Dragon Ball Daima, the newest one that came out, where they're all babies and stuff. I didn't watch Dragon Ball as much growing up. I did a little bit, but I didn't keep up as much as other people. So
you are right to chastise me. That is, I accept that wholeheartedly. So, I'm good. And I didn't want to skip over. So I'm bouncing all around these comments, so y'all forgive me. But Dre has been waiting for a Boy at the End sketch drop forever. So. And with the new project, and we'll have a show about that hopefully eventually, about the new project of Skottie with the Boy at the End that he hinted on his last podcast back in like April or May that he was on. I can't think of the name of the show, but maybe we'll have a show that focuses nothing on but Boy at the End and the new sketches that he's preparing for that. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, it'd be a good one to have one.
I'll take Ryan's word for that one.
Yeah, I've watched more Dragon Ball Z than any of them. So,
well, now let's get into. There we go. Good old American cowboys and 80s metal music and 80s cartoons and Rambo with his machine gun, all that good stuff. Yeah, you can tell which one's Tyler's and which one's mine because mine's the more simpleton. Tyler's is the more cultured. But come on, I've been
well, both of these are cultured, so I'm just as well acquainted with all of these as I am as my own. So no, these were all great choices. So
well, thank you. I was hoping that these weren't going to be too kind of numbskull Neanderthal, but
no, these are classic characters.
Yeah, Skottie, if you're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, which I'm assuming, and not Sonic the Drive-In Restaurant, yes, he has did a Sonic with the rings.
Yeah, the rings, yeah.
Yeah, the Sonic almost, the eyes almost are like bloodshot type. It's
that he's just going so fast.
Ultra realistic version of Sonic, so it's pretty cool. And let's see real quick before I get into mine. It's a project I believe we've all been waiting for. Yep. Yeah, I think you're right, Dre. I agree 100%. All right, real quick, Rip. I'll go through these pretty quickly so we're already running into 40 minutes. And
I know, yeah.
We haven't got to the group selections yet. So, yeah, Rip from Yellowstone, one of the best characters that, for the last 5 years on TV. Rip and Beth are awesome. Cole Hauser, just to see him outside of his Rip look and what he used to look like versus now. Complete transformation of a character. But yeah, any scene Rip's in is a good scene. So bring Yellowstone back. I think it's supposed to come back next month, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just without Kevin Costner. So
now whatever streaming network it's going to be on, I guess Paramount or whatever other, because I know there's like 3 different streamers that air it: Paramount Plus, Peacock, and the Paramount Network, and they hop based upon the age and when they come out. So I'll be excited about that. It'll probably be mentioned again when it comes out because I'll be so excited. Next to the right of Rip is, of course, Karen Gillan, Amy Pond. Everybody loves Amy Pond.
Such a great one, yeah. One of the best companions, and his doctor's really grown on me, as time has gone on. So
yeah, that was now the very first Doctor that I ever watched was Capaldi's 12th Doctor.
So, interesting.
Yeah, I was kind of a late bloomer to the whole Doctor Who series.
Okay.
And, he reminded me so much of Gregory House from House, MD. That just being the old kind of curmudgeon, kind of grumpy, and I just like that Doctor so much. So he's always been my favorite Doctor, which is probably one of the few people that will say that. But as we started watching the Matt Smith, 11th Doctor, that's my kid's favorite Doctor, and he does have the best holiday Christmas specials. So
that's fair. Yeah, I was gonna say it's interesting, yeah, because most are, David Tennant is obviously always generally the most well regarded, which that's where I started because my roommate who showed me in college had me skip Eccleston, who played 9. And that made me frustrated because I actually really like Eccleston. I'm glad I went back and watched them. I think they've all have done a great job in their own set, but yeah, Matt Smith was really fun. So,
well, which is weird. We watched them completely backwards. We watched 12, and then we watched 11's episodes, and then we I started watching 10's, and and I know Doctor Who's supposed to have some really bad special effects, but it seemed like 9 and 10, both of those seasons, the special effects were really kind of took you out of it a little bit. And I'm probably going to get stuff thrown at me through the screen, but yeah, that's 11 and 12. Those are the ones I can rewatch. I love David Tennant. I mean, David Tennant's he was a great Doctor.
He's a
great actor in anything he's in. But yeah, that's just his episodes of Doctor, and he's a great Doctor too in it. But just the episodes aren't my favorite. But I'm kind of giving a little foreshadowing here, but the group had mentioned some of the other episodes of or some of the other characters from Doctor Who as potential daily sketches. And the episode, which is one of the Weeping Angels episode, is a great episode. All the Weeping Angels episodes are great episodes. I love them all. But
such a simple idea for a monster or creature, and super well done, super scary. So.
In the very first appearance of him, I mean, the Doctor's not even in the episode that much. So. Yeah, but as they go throughout the series and you see more of them, I love that, and I'm glad whoever suggested it. I've got their name on it, so we'll see here in a second. But yeah, great suggestion. And then I'd asked Tyler. We had talked about this. We were going to pick 5. I cheated because I included Eddie from Stranger Things with the Demogorgon. I couldn't pick which one of those, but either one of those. Considering we're entering the last season of it, I'm very excited. Hopefully, we'll get at least something drawn from that series. So, from the last, I mean, Skottie's drawn quite a bit of things from Stranger Things. So I'm not saying we don't need it, but those two.
Yeah, no, Eddie's a great choice. His moment in the show was, again, the fact that you can introduce a character and he becomes just as beloved as any other characters that have been there for previous seasons is just, you've done a good job then. So
yeah, I guess it's been out long enough where there's no spoilers.
I know, I was like, I'm just gonna
I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna bite my tongue. I'm gonna go on. April O'Neil to the far right. Ninja Turtles. Skottie's did so many characters from Ninja Turtles. I mean, he did a Baxter Stockman. So Casey Jones, Splinter, all the Turtles. April needs some love. Maybe he's did her as a sketch that's never been posted, for a commission at a con. But yeah, I'd like to see his take on April as well. And last but not least, Sylvester Stallone, Mr. Rambo. You were talking about your Last of the Mohicans, watching at a young age. I'm on top. 7-year-old Dustin goes to see Rambo 3.
Wow.
Yeah, my grandma had a crush on Sylvester Stallone. So I was the youngest kid in the theater.
That's amazing. Wow, yeah, what an impressionable age to be watching a Rambo film.
Oh, he was like my hero. And there was, I mean, back then it was the late 80s. They were, Rambo had toys. He had action figure sets. So
true,
I had all the Rambo stuff, and one of the funniest things that embarrassed my grandma, embarrassed me. I'm 7 years old. We're watching the movie on this little screen in Lafayette, Tennessee. Rambo drops an F-bomb. I've never heard that before. So I start laughing and start shouting the F-bomb in the theater. And of course, my grandma whispers and says, "We don't say that word." So the teenagers behind us got such a kick out of it, though. But
that's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, but Rambo, I'd love to see Skottie's take on it. Whether it be one of the wide pictures of him with the guns that he's done with Undertaker, with Thanos, all those, or just regular, action, kind of like what he did with John McClane, the Die Hard.
What's funny is I was legit just going to bring him up. I said he's done John McClane, Die Hard, so I would assume it kind of fit very similar in that same style. So that very action-esque pose. So.
Yeah, so maybe one day Rambo will happen, but yeah, that's my list. So now that we gave our list, there's the next 3 slides are what are the questions I'd pop to the group. What do you want to see? Here we go. You want to name these names, Tyler, or do you want me to butcher them?
Oh, I'll leave them. You can just go with first names. I feel like just go with first names. Because we're.
Where's the fun in that though? Gordon Cordova. There we go. He had said Bud, Lou, and Harley. So and Skottie's did Harley's for daily sketches and for con sketches, but to have the hyenas there with him, that was a good suggestion.
Be fun, yeah.
All right, now Stephen Robaldo, Robaldo, he had mentioned several of the Doctor Who characters. So he had mentioned the Weeping Angels, the 10th the Weeping Angels, the K9, which is up there in the top right corner, and the Daleks. Yeah, hopefully I didn't butcher that. They're at the bottom there. So
no, you didn't. No, that's Pervia Daleks. So
yeah, it's been a while since I watched those, so I was making sure I said it right.
No, yeah, all great suggestions for Doctor Who. So.
And Stephen Cook had also suggested the 10th Doctor, so I killed 2 birds with 1 stone with that image, which it's got I think it's got, is that Martha? No, it's not Martha. Who's that? I'm not really good at the tenant. I can't see.
So honestly, I'm going to be terrible too. That's actually one of the previous, not to break off into a Doctor Who, but there's Doctor Who and then there's New Who. So she's from the older Doctor Who stuff. One of the previous Doctors before they rebooted everything back in the early 2000s with number 9. So they've had more previous encounters with older companions from previous Doctors. And that same goes for the robot dog. I can't remember its name, but
K9.
Yeah. So that's a previous, appearance, kind of making a little cameo there. So.
And I never saw those episodes, but I owned the Funko Pop of that one, so I knew who the dog was.
Let's say, you had that one, right off the top of the hat there. So
that image I could not tell, and I made it so small that I really couldn't tell who it is now. So I thought it was the Donna companion. I said Martha, but I meant Donna. And then I looked at it and I was like, nope, that's not her either.
She does kind of have the similar vibe to Donna Noble there. So.
But yeah, as I squinted, you were right. You said older. I was like, okay, yep, I completely missed that one. So Brock had a great choice with Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. Yeah. It was such a good choice that I thought, I think Skottie's did one of these before, but I could not find it. But it just seems so natural for that. Now, Neil, I hate this character. I hate this character. Yeah, I do not like this character. I don't
remember his actual name. He's been all over the internet recently with the new movie. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. I'll tell you, these movies, about as much as I can get into them is reading the plot summary on Wikipedia, and that's about as far as I can get into that series of movies.
I enjoy watching other people enjoy So I will say it's interesting. So his makeup, because I watched the video where they applied his makeup, and the entire front is a full prosthetic that he puts on, that shapes his face and everything, and then they paint the eyes and then the mouth and everything. So it's a decent amount of work, and he's been putting it on for conventions and character and greeting people in character and stuff. So it's been fun to see other people enjoy it, but like you, I'm not going to go out and see this movie or anything like that. So
now I'm in a basement by myself. Yeah, dude, I'm in a basement by myself right now, and I'm looking over in the corner just because I'm
just expecting him to suddenly appear. So.
Yeah, let's not think about that too much. But yeah, and the actor looks like such a normal guy. I mean, he's just like a.
He is, yeah. It's one of those ones where it's you play this character, really? It's you seem so ordinary, normal, and this is so freaky. And
well, reading the plot summaries for it, I thought, oh my gosh, I can't barely sit through the plot summary on Wikipedia. I don't know how I could watch a movie of that, but yeah. I mean, it's if Saul had a clown and then got even more demented. That's what these movies would be. So
that's a fair, summary, some of the summation of the movie. So
yeah, and I said, here I am, big dummy. Saul did have Jigsaw was the clown from Saul, but if Saul was a little taller, if Jigsaw was a little taller, that's what we get for that one. Okay, I'm gonna get off this page. Okay, all right. Steven had a couple other good choices. Indiana Jones, which at the end of these slides, I'll show some of the daily sketches that Skottie has did that's kind of, corresponds with some of these. So it goes along with these. But he also said Death and Dream from the Sandman series. And those are always good choices. And Skottie has did a couple of different variations of those two characters. But, more will be more than welcome. I guess I could say so.
Exactly, yeah. Especially with the newer adaptations like the TV show and stuff. So you've got kind of a few variations to play around with.
Most definitely. And now I'm gonna say the name Laura Croft. It's not Laura, it's Laura. How do you say Laura Croft's name from Tomb Raider?
It's funny. It's one of those things where you said it, so now I'm second guessing myself. I'm pretty sure I always go Lara Croft. Laura.
Yeah, that's what I always say too. But you hear some people pronounce it, and I'm thinking
Laura.
That's not how I would say it at all. But
it's one of those things that's funny because and it could be one of those instances where it's either A, it just depends on how people pronounce it, or two, where you've heard different ones. Because the example I use is Han Solo, but some people call him Han Solo, and they've called him Han in the movie. So it's it's kind of, I don't know. I kind of leave it up to you in that instance. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and we're gonna call her Laura. Since we both agree with Laura, we're gonna go with Laura. That's if send your hate mail to Tyler's email, he'll more than welcome it.
Whoa.
Now the next character, Adam Gallagher. I have no idea if this is who he was talking about, but he said Hydra Hank, and I just Googled Hydra Hank, and this is who popped up. So there's a gap in my Marvel knowledge of who Hank Johnson is.
Yeah, from Hydra. This is a new character to me.
But it was what Adam suggested, so we're gonna highlight it in this slide. So it's always good to introduce characters you've never heard of. That because when he said Hank Hydra, I was thinking this is going to be some type of parody for Marvel, and then I saw the Marvel logo on it, and I thought, no, this is a legitimate Marvel character that I've just never.
Actually, yeah.
So good choice. Danny Hoffman had said Mad Max. Now he didn't specify if he wanted the Mel Gibson or the Tom Hardy. I just assumed he was referring to Mel Gibson. And this is another one, Tyler, that I was like 95% sure Skottie had did a Mad Max. And
I
he did a Furiosa.
Okay, he did Furiosa. That's what it was I was thinking of. Okay.
So if he did one, I just couldn't find it fast enough. So my apologies. And then last but not least for this slide is the Mummy. And I think, don't you kind of feel we're going to get one of these, not a daily sketch, but a cover?
I was going to say, I'd hope, because I made that post and all theirs, and I hope we continue, because I'd love to see Wolfman, and I'd love to see the Mummy. And Invisible Man, too, would be fun. But Mummy and Wolfman would be the two that I'd really want to see. So, fingers crossed for sure.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Invisible Man. That's a good – because I was thinking like Phantom of the Opera. I was trying to think of other characters that would –
Phantom, could be – I feel like, I always think of –
That's Reach.
Yeah, exactly. Invisible Man is kind of like the end, not to say the end, because again, people love him, just as much as the others. But those are the ones that I think of. So
no, you're absolutely right, and I can't believe I completely forgot the Invisible Man. But yeah, that's if you could get those along with the ones he's already did, the Creature, the Dracula, and the Frankenstein. I feel like you'd have a complete set with those 6 right there. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to kind of finish that monster set off. So
Joe Doe, great pick and great name.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, I can pronounce it. Yes. All right, Corey Bonin had 2 different choices. He had said Punchline, Harley, and the Joker all together, and the Joker's 2 loves. Great choices, and the other choice Corey had was. Other Transformers, I'm assuming other than Optimus Prime. So I just found a group picture, but yeah, these are more mainstream too, that I feel like we could see Skottie definitely doing a cover that has those 3 DC characters on it, or possibly doing another cover for Image for Transformers with some extra characters on it.
Definitely. Yeah.
So where some of these may be, we're not going to see a Lloyd Dobler. I hope I said I've never seen say anything, but I feel like I have. So I'm not sure if that's even his real name. I typed it really fast, like Googling it. So, but you're not going to see a comic book cover. Chances are of him holding the boombox up. But the DC and the Transformers, we're more than likely to see some type of original art or cover art for those properties. But yeah, some of these others are very specific. So.
Yeah, definitely more along the lines of a daily sketch. So
before we get to the last 2 there, I wanted to highlight Toby Price had suggested the Say Anything character by John Cusack. I'm not going to say his name again so I don't mess it up. And Titus the Monkey, which is his original character. So his OC.
Okay.
So you can't hardly see it there.
Written and illustrated by Toby Price. I see that.
So we'll give him a drop for this one too. The Almost True Adventures of Titus the Monkey by Toby Price. So that's very cool. It would be nice. Can you imagine creating a character like any of these characters have been created by different directors and writers and producers of movies and TV shows, and see all these artists that take your character and kind of give it their own personal spin to it.
No, for sure. I mean, it's always so cool. And, and I know there's some people, who maybe aren't as much of a fan of that. I know I would be, especially, having some of these characters have so much history, there's no way around it. Like there's going to be so many interpretations of them. So, I think it's cool whether or not, you like some of them or you don't like some of them, that's kind of a personal opinion, but, just cool to be able to see, like you said, somebody out there take it, something that they love, interpret it in their own way. I mean, I love Jorge Corona. The stuff he's doing on Transformers right now is really cool. So, yeah.
And last but not least, we have Eric Draven, the Crow character. And I was once again assuming he was referring to the one by Brandon Lee. And that was Jason Weiss that selected him. And on the next slide, we'll see Skottie's one of his renditions of the Crow. And last but not least, Tavis Dahaniuk. That's close enough.
That's pretty good, I'd say.
Well, whenever we did the questions with Skottie and Megan early at the beginning of the year, whenever the people from the group got to ask them questions, Tavis asked a question. So I've got his name on a card, so index card somewhere on the other side of the room.
Piecing out how to say it.
I was sitting by myself in here pronouncing people's name for about a half hour. So, yeah, Emil and the Sniffers. Now, are you familiar with this band?
I am not. No, not off the top of my head, at least not name wise.
Okay, well, he said that each one of the band members has a great big personality, so they would be a fun character. It's almost like, to me, whenever he made that comment, when Tavis made that comment, I was thinking like what Skottie did with the Gorillaz, the band, and had a different image for each one. So, and last but not least, these are some of the images from that, with the exception of Matt Smith's 11th Doctor up there. The rest of these have been daily sketches at one point in time. So it kind of touches on Laura Croft, Indiana Jones, Death, Dream, the Crow, and then the Doctor. So.
Yeah, these are all great. I love that Matt Smith. I'd forgotten. It's always so funny because, again, I'll forget about some of these, or some of them I may have missed. There's occasionally ones that I just didn't see for whatever reason. But yeah, I love that Matt Smith one. That's a great one. That Indiana Jones is a classic. Yeah, that Laura, I don't remember. Yeah, that's one that I don't know if I remember the Laura one, but I definitely remember all of the Crow and then the Sandman ones. So.
Yeah, and all three of those are kind of, and even Indiana Jones is in Skottie's the skinny figure category, where the elongated shape. So, and all those characters fit that style very well. So
they do, yeah, they for sure, yeah. It's a great one. So,
and before we go on to the next slide, I meant to mention this to you whenever the Breaking Bad characters popped up. Whenever I was trying to find that sketch and having such a hard time, I saw two other sketches that Skottie had did from that series. And one of them I'd seen before. It was like on the orange paper of Heisenberg. It was one of his con sketches.
Yes.
There's one on blue paper, which makes sense because of the blue, stuff they sell. Of Jesse and Walt on there. And I'd never seen that one before. So
yeah, I definitely remember the orange one. Yeah, I'll have to see if I've seen the blue one. I love when he did that. I wish he honestly would do. I wish more artists would do that. I love seeing the striking color sketches for people if they sell them or they post them in the group, whatever have you. Those are such really fun ones. And again, it makes me like, man, I wish I could have gotten in on one of those. So,
I agree. Especially some of these cons that you hear about where you see that he was just sketching and the lines for him weren't long, which I'm sure he's a lot happier now with it because, it gives him more freedom to do what he wants to do. But yeah. All right. Any new items in your collection this week that are of Skottie criteria?
Yes, I had gotten these. So I mean, these are a little bit, outdated and old now. But I picked up the Moon Knight and the Wolverine and the Jupiter's Legacy. I grabbed those covers. So I mean, these are great. We talked about these a few times, so I'm not going to get like crazy in depth or anything. But and then I got my I Hate Fairyland Volume 7. John, packed by John. And like you said, I love these because they have the book plate. So I love seeing that it's the Gertzilla in Skottie style. Yeah, so very fitting for yours. And then, potentially some other art we'll see here. And then as we discussed, I got my Brett package. Dustin, you showed off yours last week. So I'm thankfully able to show off mine this week. And so I'll start with and remind me, your commission was I'm blanking on your commission you got.
Oh, the Calvin and Hobbes commission?
Yes, Calvin and Hobbes. I don't know why I'm like blanking on that. So you got your Calvin and Hobbes. I had sent 2 characters, and you had done the same. I sent 2 characters, War from Darksiders, and then Aizawa from My Hero Academia. And I was like, hey, I'll let you decide. And I had a feeling he was leaning toward War, and I honestly kind of hoped he had. And for most people who follow him on Instagram have seen this piece, so this won't be entirely new for you, but he just knocked it out of the park. I love it. I love the details of like the silly pauldron face. That's not, how it looks in game. In game, it's more serious and gothy. And same with the sword, just the way that he was able to capture these kind of swirly looking dragons and stuff. The faces, at least. But yeah, this is such an awesome piece. I definitely
brought that character down into fairyland, and that's kind of the reaction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely, I definitely will eventually plan on probably getting the other 3 horsemen from him as well, just because it's just such a cool piece. I love that. And then obviously the big one, Seth, this is such a odd thing to hold up, but the big Gertzilla. So this was on his page. Dustin and I talked about it. Dustin was kind enough to grab the other single Gertzilla. I grabbed this one. This one had been in my want list for a while. I just love the way that he drew. I mean, it's just so cool. And the fact that it's 2 11 by 17s is just really cool. And just the ink, I'm trying to get it without like the reflection of the stuff. But Brett even said, Brett even said that this was one of his favorite original pieces. So,
and that I believe that is the first appearance of Gertzilla too, isn't it? When she emerges from the cave, because you kind of see the transformation taking place, and then that's like kind of the grand reveal, I believe, of the character. So. Very cool.
It is, besides the cover. I'll say, so the cover, it is actually revealed on the cover for issue 15.
That's cool.
I did ask him, he hadn't responded, and I didn't want to like push, or do anything, but I was curious, if he ever sells his cover art, because I don't think I've ever seen any of his cover up go up for sale. And I'm sure he probably doesn't. He's like Skottie, where he, likes to keep some stuff for him, and then maybe eventually down the line he'll go and sell that. But I really love the way he drew her on 15 as well. It's that, kind of cocky, she's looking over her shoulder look to it. So yeah, I mean, it's Brett's work is awesome. And I appreciate that he opens his commissions at cons, really appreciate, especially if I'm not able to make it out there. And yeah, I mean, his art's just so cool. And I was going to mention the fact that I don't know if you saw, but probably you did, but the Brett Bean, Ryan Otley collaboration they did, where Brett Bean did a drawing of Rhino and Spider-Man, and then Ryan Otley inked it. And I immediately was like, Brett, if you ever want to sell this, I will gladly add this to my collection. He was like, definitely not selling this. This is a me piece. And I was like, hey, totally understand that, totally understandable. But thank you, Dre. Yeah, it's such great stuff. I know I hope to have almost just as much Brett stuff as I do Skottie, one day. So
Brett got big time on us in New York Comic Con. He is the image of him hanging out with Frank Cho and Ryan Otley, and that was Frank Cho's poster, his Spider-Man print.
Yes, the one, behind it. Yeah, no, yeah, I didn't mean to leave you. I didn't mean to leave Frank Cho out there. I like his art. I'm just such a big Otley fan, so I'm like, man, Otley and Brian together. I'm like, I love it. I always love when my favorite artists like collaborate or do something together. But yeah, Frank Cho, like you said, being able to see, these guys geek out over each other, kind of like we geek out over them, is always super fun. So
I agree. And then, that was really, and I'm excited for you to get that as you were. As I was looking at the big image, I was like, oh man, that looks even more detailed than what we saw, on the group. So
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, again, to think, you'd have to draw these big pieces, and we get them like this, and they're fun, to look at, but it's, it's just something else entirely when you can see the actual thing. So
and I was happy with the Gertzilla that I got, because I know you had mentioned you wanted the double page splash, and that's going to be a massive piece for your wall. That's going to be like one of the centerpieces of the Brett art collection.
It's going to compete with the Skottie Fortnite, that's it. So those are going to be my two.
I agree. That's great choice on that one. Great choice. And I know Seth was in here earlier, and his piece, that now that we showed both of our pieces, but the Leia Gert Leia Princess Leia was really well done. All the other Gerts that he's been showing. He must have been pretty busy during New York Comic Con. He didn't post. I saw him drawing into some pictures, but he didn't post a lot. So in there, but hopefully it was very successful for him because he deserves the success. He's very talented. Yeah, Seth's still here. Yeah, Seth, the Princess Leia with the great, so very, very well.
Yeah, it's
I have nothing to show this week, so
I do hope, like you said, that Brett had a great week because, like you said, I was kind of waiting to see hopefully more people get commissions, but it's that piece was great. I love the one too, especially that Nate Pico's commented on. It was like, hey, can we get this? Can you scan this, please, so we can use this, in one of the comics. So,
which one was that? Which what?
I think it was do you remember? It was the one that he colored where it was a bust of her, and it almost looked like it could have been. It looked like it could have been a cover. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No. There was an adult Gert that he did, and I think there was a younger Gert that he did. So I kind of wonder.
Yeah, so it was this one, that he did.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't the adult. That was the other one. So
that's the one that Nate was like, dude, tell me you scan it so you can use it in print somewhere. So I love, again, because Nate works on that is the oh my goodness, the I'm blanking on the letter. So it's cool, that he even sees that. He's like, whoa, like, hey, that's awesome. Like, bring that in so we could use it for print. So
yeah, and I was thinking commissions, but Seth's 100% correct. Dre got a great jam piece that had the Gert as Wonder Woman on it at New York Comic Con. So
I might have missed that. I don't know if I saw that one. Was that posted in the
yeah, he posted it in there. I think he posted it maybe Saturday morning, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So yeah, go check it out because it's got all these other artists that have kind of did the Justice League, and then Brett did Gert as Wonder Woman.
It's like the blue cover, right? The blue Justice League cover. Was it blue?
Yes, or had Gert up there like in the left hand top.
I do remember seeing that one. Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, those jam pieces, I'll definitely, like we talked about, I think it was last week. I love the idea of the jam piece. It's, and mine would almost kind of, be more so like, hey, I'll just get one artist maybe to do, a few, but that's really cool. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been able to meet Brett yet. I definitely want to one of these days and share, my passion for his art just as much as I like talking with Skottie about his. So
I agree. Hopefully he'll be at some, that was his first, he said that was his first East Coast show, but they'll open the door for MegaCon or Heroes or something like that. So
yeah, or even, just to come back to New York Comic Con because, my brother lives there. So hopefully, I've already made plans with him. I'm like, hey, we got to go next year to New York Comic Con. So
awesome. All right. So we got 3 bits of news here a little bit coming up. So this is the issue that, I believe Megan or one of them, I can't remember if it was Megan or Skottie's post, but said this has become one of the office favorites. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, it was Megan. Okay, I didn't want to butcher that, but yeah, I can see why this one's we both have pledged our love for this cover here. So if there ever is a cover original art sale for this one, we'll probably have to see who's got the fastest finger on it.
Honestly, it wouldn't even be that. It's who has the the money to front for it at the time. And I know that I definitely.
That was the other thing I was thinking, or the bigger budget.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially for his Marvel covers, and one like this, I'm sure it'll sell for a good premium. And I hope it does, if or when he eventually ever hopes to sell it. But it's like I said, it's one of my all-time favorite Iron Man covers from him. Definitely in my top 3. So.
Tyler, don't talk like that. It sells for a high premium. What are you doing? Christmas for 4 kids. They know what they
have their hands on. They know what they're selling. So
yeah, they're not oblivious to that. But hopefully, Dre, we can do that. That'll be a lot of fun. I would love to do that. And that's our last slide. We're going to try to set that up next year if at all possible. But yeah, that's the plan right now. But yeah, this is a fun cover, really fun.
Yeah.
And you ordered the slab, didn't you? From the
I did. Yeah. Yep.
I did. I missed out on it, but yeah, I've got
it. Crazy that it's sold because and granted, I get it. Some of these don't sell out. Some of them kind of stick around a while. And again, it's it's more. But this one was definitely. I knew immediately. I was just like, oh, I was like, yep, I've gotta. I was like, I just can't.
Good,
I mean, again, Iron Man's one of my favorites, and again, he doesn't draw him as much anymore. It's only occasionally I feel like we'll get kind of. I mean, granted, we got the Marvel 27, but this is obviously different than the black and just the white cover.
Yeah.
So
oh, absolutely. Those were more of just like standalone individual pieces. This is actually a scene, and when he does these type of scenes, and it's not like the white cover with like the team up and the word bubbles. This is an actual full cover, edge to edge screen.
Exactly. Anytime there's background and more elements on, I'm totally game for it. And again, the fact he's using his helmet is the welding helmet. Like it's just Iron Man, at his best, just tinkering on his toys and, making his armor. So, I love this one, and I'm glad that they're, super excited about it. As much as I give him a hard time about not liking to draw Iron Man, I'm glad he still will draw stuff like this for us Iron Man fans out there. So
I agree 100% on that. All right. New pre-orders. I'm kind of considering this a pre-order still because it's October 31st is the drop dead deadline. And so far, as of about lunchtime today, when I put this up, there was 102 backers for Skottie's variant there of the, this is something that's kind of one of those things where I missed something again, Tyler. I thought this was Detective Comics, and I was thinking, how in the world is he able to call this? Is there not a lawsuit? Today is the first day I realized it was Defective Comics. So just pure ignorance on my part.
I'm sure he fully did it, doing that on purpose, that kind of play like, hey, we're not detective, we're defective, kind of a deal.
Yeah, that's the whole pun. The whole pun of it. It's supposed to be.
It seems right his alley. But it's like you said, it's so subtle. I mean, it's just such a small difference in the letter that it's easy to kind of miss. So
completely read over it the first. Well, I guess this has been up for 23 days now. I missed it completely, but love Skottie's cover for this one. The process video that he posted was really detailed. Just watching him lay the ink down on it is just something of a, you could it was a short video, but I wish it had been longer so we could see the full process. But
I'm telling you, I would love to help fund, some not documentary, but documentary style, like, I'll help cover, video or whatever is needed to get more sketch, in the middle of the process videos. Because like you said, I'm the same way. I love just watching him throw down his inks, and he's just so confident in his line work and brush strokes. It's just always such a blast to watch. So
I agree, Dre. This is definitely Mylar worthy. And like I said to you last week or the week before, we got to get a nanny can put in his office so we can watch him sketch, man, without him knowing. but until then, we'll just those little clips that we get to see on YouTube.
For every little nibble or morsel we can get. So
yeah, it's be grateful, I guess, is what I tell myself, but it's hard to sometimes. All right, now the big news of the day, the Wednesday surprise that we like to see pop up. I'd uploaded the slides for the show tonight, and about 10 minutes after that is whenever I saw our group member post in the chat SIKTC, and I thought there's got to be a Skottie cover with that. And sure enough, I checked my email, and the Substack email had came out from Megan, and it was revealing that Skottie has, for issue number 0, which is a prelude, Skottie has a variant. He has 2 different variants, one edition size of 1500, which is the one on the left, one edition size of 500, which is the white background cover on the back. And this is whenever he did the daily sketch for this one, I knew it was going to be a big hit because there was all kind. We've said before, we are not affiliated with the Team Skottie, but every once in a while, when a cover gets released or a daily sketch goes up, I'll get message from different people within the group going, "Hey, can you help me get this? Can you put me down for this one?" And first off, I was like, "Heck no, I love this one. I'm going to try to go after it." And I'm always like, "Thank you. I'm just here a fan of Skottie and his team and everything they do." But you know, I always try to say these will be released in a daily drop in a Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. Please don't show up for it because I really want this one. And I was going to say this sketch is actually based upon this Erica Slaughter drawing that Skottie did.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Yeah, that was the first one. That was my bad joke of the night. So that was the quick remark one. This is the.
I like that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they posted this in the newsletter. I posted this in the group, but it's not. You know, you could look at the one I got, and the actual finished cover. Look at you telling me.
Is that the OA then, Dustin, or?
It is not. Okay. It's if you're familiar kind of with Skottie's work, and I know you are, you know, Skottie does a lot of his stuff digitally, blue lines, prints those out, then fills in the ink.
Yep.
I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that daily sketch, he probably had the blue lines for it saved digitally and printed them on 11 by 17 because there's details. The skeleton of the character of Erica Slaughter is the same, but if you look at like slight things like the bracelet on her right hand, the chainsaw hand, the hair in the daily sketch. If you can see there, the hair is a little bit longer than the hair that's in the thing. The position of her pinky, the monster guts at the bottom are more detailed. The claws or whatever those tendons or whatever those things are popping up, the legs, those are slightly different orientation. But mine is kind of like the original daily sketch that evolved into what finally became of the OA. But
so I was going to say, I meant like, is that the original daily sketch that you have, or is that a print of it?
Oh no, that's the original daily sketch. I'm sorry, I thought you were saying.
I meant more so. Is that the original daily sketch? Yeah.
Okay, I went into this long explanation that was completely unnecessary.
Get this out, and then I'll ask again.
No. That's
awesome. That's funny. I mean, it's really cool that, you know. It's funny enough, you know, I wonder in that case, you know, they don't reach out like, hey, Dustin, we sold, you know, you bought that original art. Can we get that back?
That Skottie, I'm much like, you know, you think of, I watched a lot of like Rob Liefeld, his Whatnot shows. And when he does sketches on the show, he'll take his phone and take a picture of them before he passes them over to the guy that ships them out, just so he has some type of archive of it. So I was kind of assuming, I didn't ask Skottie and Megan this specific question, but if, you know, that was done from a digital layout, but I do know it's different. The final design is different than what mine is.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't really, I looked at him and I kind of just, made the assumption that it was pretty much almost one for one. So that's cool. Yeah, that you point out, you know, those differences, and obviously, you know, that it's, whether it was he adjusted what he already had or completely redid it, kind of the deal. And like you said, it makes sense. You know, most of them are gonna, you know, scan in or take a picture themselves of their, you know, OA or whatever it is. Like you said, they at least have that on file themselves digitally. And as we found out, there's even some that they don't even have OA for. It was just all digital, like the Run the Jewels cover. Again, man, if there's any cover I would have wanted to get, it's that one, but it's all digital. So, you know, there is no original art in a sense. So.
No. That would be a cool one. And I wonder if you bought a like a blank Deadpool and set that in for a remark and ask for like the left hand on one time, and then send in the next time and ask for the other hand.
Get the right hand on the other, yeah.
Yeah. So you get something similar to that. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. And even though it's not the OA for the page, it's the inspiration, the original. So I'm once again tickled. Second time I've used it tonight. Very tickled to own this one. And I'd even mentioned to Megan at one point, this is the second time that. Do you remember the screen print, the Super Mario screen print they did? Mm-hmm. Well, I bought the original daily sketch for the Mario jumping. So yeah, I'm trying to find it over there. You know, kind of forcing over the mouth.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
And Skottie took that and kind of revamped it and made it a little bigger and did a screen print.
Okay, interesting.
But so mine's not the original for the screen print, but it's kind of like much like this one. It's the original one, and Megan had pointed out the Mandalorian holding the egg with Grogu following behind him. You know, that was a commission that I did back when Felix was still doing Skottie's commissions, and it got turned into a print. So it's fun to have these little pieces that, you know, you've bought at different points in time and never even, you thought, hey, this is just cool for my wall, and then you
Yeah.
see other people getting to enjoy it too, which is, to me, is a blast to see that. So
No, that's really it's like you said, it's really interesting, especially for those ones where it's altered in a way or slightly different, inspiration on for like this next iteration, if you will, for like the something is killing the children. So yeah, I can't imagine how cool it would be to get these covers to be able to have next to the original art even, or just to compare, from time to time. So
yeah, and this is, and of course, I'm not sure if I've even mentioned this, but October 28th, which is next Monday, these are both going up. So yeah, are you planning? Are you a big? Or you said we've already discussed this a little bit before, but are you planning on getting either one of these, or is this one that you might pass on for?
No, I debated it. I think I might at least get one. I think it'd be cool because I love the art. Again, I don't have an affiliation with the character per se, but I love the art, especially the regular version. I think the all white background is clean, but again, I love when we get background work, and especially when it's edge to
Yeah,
edge,
I agree.
art. So I mean, having the trees back there and having this character with the saw and whatever it is she's killing. So and again, like we've talked about, I think I'm missing half of the opportunity of purchasing Skottie comics where, yes, half of it's for his art, but then the other half is for being able to read a story I might not have picked up and then maybe finding something like Absolute Batman where, it's like, oh, wow, I actually really like this story.
Yeah.
Let me dig into this. So, and especially like you said, having never read it, now's a good as time as any, especially with the prelude. I would imagine it, starting here wouldn't be a bad thing, and then diving into the comics, or maybe not. Maybe I should read them first and then come back to this. But I think I'll at least get that A cover. I like that cover quite a bit. So
yeah, I think, and the B one will probably be the one that's more sought after because it has a lower edition size. But everything you said is 100% correct. I like the background, and it's, if you look at cover A, you're like, all right, well, that's got a more full, like, artistic image. So if I like it better as well. But yeah, you can't go wrong with either. The cover B reminds me of the actual daily sketch.
Yeah, I was gonna say cover B looks great too, and I do love, there is something about, and that's, I did that with TMNT where I opted for the B version, the metallic, where it was just the logo, and because I do like that, I appreciated some of these offerings or having that where they get rid of the logos, anything else that's just not the art, because I love having the art just front and center. So that's also a really nice cover, and especially, if like yourself, you're big Something's Killing the Children fan, then both of these I'm sure are going to go to quite a few people. So,
and I think this is a series that's probably going to, I mean, the rumored Netflix series has been going on for a while. So I don't know if it's struck in, like, development, whatever, but it's, if it ever does come out, I think it'll be one that's, I think if it ever does come out, it'll be one that, the property will blow up even more. So
you got Dre down there, already waiting in line. So
well, what's funny is I don't own the screen print. I don't own the print that the art, is kind of related to. So I missed out on that. I didn't buy it. I waited too long and kind of kicked myself now because it's an awesome. Just I've seen
it that big. I mean, I love seeing people share because it's just such a big piece. So.
All right. Next, we have the Absolute Batman. And whenever this dropped, we had questioned, would there be a virgin cover? Will there be a black and white cover? Will there be a full cover? And there wasn't. Thankfully, we was able to buy the trio, all cover A's. We see that the second printing now has our black and white virgin cover, which is, it gave us some time in between ordering the trio to decide if we're going to get this or not. But after reading Absolute Batman, and I don't know if there's been like dozens of different covers for Absolute Batman by different artists.
Yeah.
But they've also released a Batman, Absolute Batman Noir edition, which is all black and white, and I hope the issues will be black and white. So this will be fun to pair with that.
Very cool. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the Noir edition. So
yeah, I saw that they're also doing them for the Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman too. So I'd added them to my previews order, my pull box order this past week. So
very cool.
But did you see the sale that Felix did for the Absolute Batman issue 1 art?
I did the one with his vehicle, right? That you're talking about.
No, that's coming up. That's the next issue.
That's the third, the second or third issue.
Felix Comic Art sold issue 1, which with several covers. He had Otley's cover in there, and
Yep,
had
I saw. His. Yep.
The first printing, obviously, and the second printing by Nick Dragotta. But I thought, well, I'm gonna try to grab a page from this. And if you go to get a page from this, you want to get one with Batman on it. Yep. So I picked out 3 pages that weren't the best pages, but one of them had this much of Batman on it, just like it, where he's hanging up. And I thought I'm gonna try to go for all these, and I put like a price range of what I wanted to get. And I thought I'm gonna go for this one first, this one second, and this one will be the third one if it sells out. The one with just this much Batman.
Yeah.
And the 2 pages that I picked that I had a price range in mind, my budget was nowhere near. They were priced at $10,000 per page.
Yeah.
And this is for interior art. And and to Felix and Nick's credit, they sold instantly. And the little Batman one was priced at $3,000, and it sold almost as quickly.
Yeah.
But the issue sold out, and I counted it up with all the different covers, and we're talking $70,000 covers.
That's crazy! Wow. Yeah.
And I think it was, and maybe I'm going to butcher it a little bit, but it's $400 and some thousand is what this issue 1 sold for with the cover art. So congrats
to crazy. To Nick, congrats.
Yeah, but that
that's all I keep hearing about is Absolute Batman, and it's funny because, like I said, I think I told you, but my comic guy who helps me out at my local store, Brian, he reached out and he was like, "Hey, do you want this?" And it was a picture of the Absolute Batman issue 1, and I was like, "Well, I've already got Skottie's pre-order," but I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and pick it up. I was like, it's got a lot of hype around it, and I'd like to read it, now, and I'm glad I did. I asked him, I was like, is it really that good? Like, is it, as good as everybody's like saying it is and going crazy over? And it really is. I mean, it's just such an interesting, new, fresh take on Batman. And again, I like being able to dive in without having read, such and such story, or having had the 30 years of history, or, whatever it is. It's so hard to dive into some of these comics, which is why they revamp them or do number 1s and stuff. But yeah, it was a blast to read. I told him immediately. I was like, he was like, message you when you read, and I was like, wow. I was like, dude, please add that to my sub list. I was like, 100%, I want more of that. Like, and and he knows that I'm not much of a DC person. I read a handful of stories and characters, but yeah, it's it makes sense that the art would sell just as hot as the issues itself did, with how many reprintings and variants and all the like. So,
well, Scott Snyder, the writer for Absolute Batman. I heard him talking at New York Comic Con this past weekend, and it's such a soft-spoken, humble guy. I didn't realize I had never heard Snyder speak any, but one of the things he said about the issue, because he said they kind of got to pick who they wanted for different variant covers. Like obviously some different stores are going to pick their people and they're going to do this, but he's like, I wanted to get Frank Miller on a cover, obviously. And he said also wanted the cover by Skottie Young, which I thought was really cool. Those were the 2 artists that he name dropped.
He called out specifically. That's really cool. So, I mean, Skottie crushed it. I love this cover. I mean, me, that wide boy Batman. I'm like, it's just so fun. So I definitely will look to add this one as well, because it's not only is it a great comic, but I just love the art with it too. So
yeah, some OA that if it ever does hit the market, this will have a premium. Speaking of having a premium,
well, we can just throw that out there as well.
We'll have a wide boy premium on it. So, all right, Skottie is fixing to head across seas to the Luca Comics and Game, and I tried to pick the date. I'm not sure what date Skottie's going to be there, but any festival that has R.L. Stein and Skottie Young at it has got to be a good festival to go to. So, if you happen to be over there and attend it, oh yeah, please post pictures to the group if you happen to be over there, and if you meet Skottie or don't, it'd be cool to see that festival, because it looks like I had to keep scrolling down. Skottie, much like myself, having a last name in the last part of the alphabet, it's like they showed about 4 rows. It's like click for more guests, click for more guests, click for more guests. I had to do that like 5 times before I got to Skottie.
Goodness. And then finally.
It's loaded. It's loaded with guests, so this is a pretty big deal. And I think we had seen before and maybe discussed that Jorge Corona is going to be there, and one of the female artists that did some of the Untold I Hate Fairyland, and I hate that I didn't get her name before then, but she's going to be there as well. So it looks like it's going to be a great crowd. So hopefully some people from our group will go there.
Yeah, like you said, hopefully we can see some pictures. I always love seeing the cons, whether or not I'm able to go or not, and just to see, how things are doing. So.
All right. I think we did it again, Tyler. That's another hour and a half show that we've ran over slightly, and hopefully you don't miss your gaming time because of this. But
no, it's later still, so it's a late night for me as usual. So.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody on here enjoyed it tonight. And like Dre had even mentioned earlier, Heroes Con meetup, I'm all for it. We're about 7 months away. So and as I was talking to my friend Gary, who's also hops to different cons, and I met up at Heroes, he's like, it's not on Father's Day this weekend. So I might actually be able to stay beyond, Saturday at 4:00, because I always feel guilty for not getting home on Sunday morning for Father's Day. So yes, Seth says, claim absolute Superman OA. I think that's going to have a premium on it too. I think those are all going to. It's all yours, Seth, because I don't. That's going to be out of my budget.
You won't have any competition from Dustin or I. So.
No, not yet. All on your side. It's all yours. You can have it. Now, if the Batman comes out at a bargain rate, yes,
then we might have some discussions. So.
No, but I think I said before, I believe the Superman is my favorite of the 3 different covers that he did.
Yep. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
But Seth has claimed it. So when it drops for 10,000, it's all yours, Seth. You can have it. I'll have to ask Megan for monthly payment plans of like 24 months for anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but yeah, really looking forward. Hopefully, some of these guys, especially ones that pop in here. I know Ryan has popped in here. He did it tonight, but Ryan Pratt is usually on here. But like Dre and Seth and the other Ryan that popped in, who may be Canadian, but hopefully we can all meet up and have dinner and congregate a little bit and discuss all things Skottie and all things everything else.
Exactly.
All right. Once again, if you want to be on Skottie Talk, please message either Tyler or me, and we will make it happen. And on that note, we have a potential couple of people that's already in the works. We don't have dates, but November 6th, I'll go ahead and announce this. Andrew, a member that's also a CGC employee, we're tentatively planning on having. I shouldn't do this because you'll end up jinxing us, Tyler. But Andrew may join us for a chat, and we'll discuss. He's a Skottie fan as well. But if you've seen the little Instagram stories of CGC, you've probably seen Andrew this weekend. He was a busy man up there. So hopefully we can get him on and have a good discussion and then do our normal portion of the show. But then we got 2 more others lined up that we're just waiting. We're going to get dates. But next week, episode 10, we're hitting double digits, Tyler. It's our Halloween episode. Could be on Tuesday, could be on Wednesday. We're going to keep y'all guessing until Tyler's schedule gets worked out.
Yeah, speaking of New York, I'm flying out next week to go visit my brother up in New York. So I hate that it's just missing New York Comic Con, but yeah, I got an early flight. Early flights are always cheaper, so unfortunately, just having to kind of suck it up and deal with it. So
yeah, I don't blame you. I'm all about saving whenever I can. So
it all goes back to Skottie. So
yeah, the money's being funneled back one way or the other. So. Yeah. You're exactly right. Well, whatever date it is, Tyler and I may try to dress up. Come on out, Papa Dustin. Okay. He's got me on that one. I want to start using the word lit more and no cap and sus, just to try to get this make me sound younger. Anyway, we're going to try to dress up as Halloween costumes, whatever it may be. We're going to have some Halloween trivia based upon Skottie's works that I've been posting. The Scary Skottie, which we're like 3 episodes into October, and I haven't even mentioned it, but yeah, the daily
Scary Skottie. Yeah, throwing that onto one of these. So
yeah, so we're going to do something with that next week, and maybe have a little trivia and have some contests, have some prizes, or prize singular once again. But we'll do something, have it fun, something a little different, but make it kind of spooky and Halloweeny. So. Anything else you want to add, Tyler, for the night before we call it a night?
Nope. Yeah, I guess just our normal sign off of stay messy, stay fresh. When in doubt, joke it out. Just everybody just keep collecting Skottie and then and having a great time with it. So
couldn't say it better myself.
Yeah. Catch y'all later, guys.